Alright, welcome back to another Stormgate cast with me, algorithm0r, and this is going to be another cast of one of my ladder games. This is me here in the Blue Infernal as usual, and we're going to be playing off against GreenZerg, who is not playing Zerg today. They're playing Vanguard, and we've already got our scout dog into the base, and a little harass on my imp here, trying to block me. Well, I don't know if he was trying to block me or just trying to kill my imp, but he certainly blocked my vault, and I went and turned that imp into a farm to save his life. He was getting low on health. Some good dog harass early on from the green Zerg, who's playing the red Vanguard. And, ooh, a second dog coming out to join the first. And back home, just the barracks and the supply. We're doing some dog harass to start the game. My vault's still waiting to get up. Remember, that second one was delayed because the dog was chasing my imp around. And now we've got two dogs on a hexen. This is dangerous. I tried to wedge my hexen in there. Pushed out a brute. And, oh, just... They almost got me. Almost got me with those two dogs. But I was able to chase that dog away. I split that brute, maybe thinking I could chase it down, but that was probably premature. Alright, what do we have here? More dogs? More dogs. We're up to 4 dogs from the Green Zerg, and it looks like 1 Rax. And here we see a little bit of creeping with some teams. I think I learned here that creeping with 2 fiends is not successful. Creeping with 1 brute can be successful, but 2 fiends, maybe you can be with 2 fiends, but my micro is only so-so, and I was pretty sure I was going to be losing some of my fiends. So we'll wait for these 2 big brutes to come. Meanwhile, the dogs up here taking out this creep camp. We're up to... Oh, one of the dogs went down. That's rough. One of my fiends went down. So, again, it's... With perfect micro, you might be able to save all your units when you're creeping, which is certainly the goal. I do not have perfect micro. And I should remind our viewers that this was a ladder game that happened between myself and GreenZerg, and that meant that this happened at our MMR. My MMR is about 1600 right now, and I imagine that's what GreenZerg's was as well, maybe a little higher than that. So that puts me in the range of the platinum to diamond threshold. And we've got some creeping from the dogs, and the creeping right here for the vision camp. And I think I was going to go take that camp, and I realized, oh, yep, he already took it. So I went back. These dogs are out on the map, and I think I used that as a recommendation to maybe get back home. And sure enough, I think I spotted the dogs here, and I realized, oh, okay, there's a lot of dogs there. I could have went to creep that camp, but then I would have had those dogs on top of me. Got 1 skull of shed off on that dog with an infest. Don't think that does it much for me other than give me vision for a short period of time. Don't think the infest is going to do enough damage to knock that dog out. Meanwhile, the dogs are just getting some map control here. Taking this vision camp, clearing out this other vision camp up here. Of course, this is one of the benefits of the early dog opening. And in early access here, dogs have been pretty strong. And especially in patch 0.02, which this game was played on, the dogs are sort of one of the key opening metas for Vanguard, because they do give you this creep camp advantage and this map control. And maybe we're going to see a little bit of aggression out of the dogs too. The other benefit of these dogs is that they're fast, as you can see, and they can run by get in the mineral line and start killing imps and bobs and such. They're going to steal this health camp. Of course, I've got vision on that, and I've set up a little defense here. And, well, those two brutes get lured out. I don't think I was controlling them, and yeah, they get killed off by these dogs. The fiends get easily cleaned up, and yeah, sort of wise of me to pull back, and perhaps wise of him to pull back as well. Heal up those dogs so that those kills were effectively for free, and then try and pressure again. I've got the one tower here. The one shroud stone is making it just, I think, well, I've got a second one in the back there now, but it's enough to maybe push the dogs away. And where are they going to go? Oh, they're going to come over here and check to see if there's a third base. Wise. Not seeing it, not seeing the trees down. I intentionally did not knock down the tree so his dogs can run in the back. It is common for me, see I have a mag already, and it's common for me to knock those trees down when it's ready to get a third. But when I'm playing against an opponent where I don't have map control, I tend to be a little more turtley, and I try not to take extra bases until my main bases are saturated and well protected. There we go with an attempt for a run by, but luckily my army was positioned at least enough to sort of chase him back. And again, taking the camps back, and here we go with maybe another attempt, although a little timid. So here we go, a little run by with 6, trying to get a drone. I think they got one drone there, one imp. Keep calling them drones because of my days as a Zerg. I mean, it seems like my opponent GreenZerg was also spent some time as a Zerg, so probably knows the value of sniping down an imp or a drone. So these exos came out. I think perhaps he was thinking that this was a good time to do a full push, and is maybe second guessing that. I'm just doing a little scout with the skull, and again, these dogs just keeping me contained in my base. What is this skull gonna really see? Sees that the expo is up. Does not see. Oh, here we go, and oh, gets sniped out by the exos. And now these dogs are trying to come in. There's a single Hellborn here. Hellborn has been part of my game recently, and I think it's become part of the meta. Or the main meta against Vanguard for Infernal. One thing we'll see here while I'm putting up some more defenses is that this stone has been upgraded to a Wraith Stone. Those Wraith Stones no longer attack in the sense that they shoot, but they create an area of effect within the shroud that they create that will slow. As you can see, these dogs are now getting slowed down, and deals damage over time. So they will slowly take damage over time. And this actually ended up being kind of good for me, because with these slowed down dogs, they were pinned in here and could not escape. And GreenZerg at this point sent me a text. They don't show the text in the replays. He said, "Why were they so slow?" I told him about the Wraith Stone. I don't think he saw it, or maybe this was the first time he's encountered a Wraith Stone, in which case, lucky for me, he didn't notice the effects. So with those dogs off the map, I feel okay, I can take back some map control. Of course, I don't know what GreenZerg has on the map, and GreenZerg has a whole bunch of exos, which is almost as effective at keeping some map control as the dogs. They're not quite as fast, but they are, when they have this upgrade, they can kite armies very well, meaning that if they encounter an army out on the map, they are really good at dealing damage to that army, harassing the army, and not taking a lot of damage themselves. So they're really good units for map control. And while my units over here and the Infernal units in general tend to be pretty slow units unless they're upgraded, and the brutes just are pretty slow, and the Hellborn as well aren't going to get an upgrade. Although that speed cap helps. Now I'm going to smash down my trees. As I mentioned, I didn't do it earlier because the dogs were on the map, but now that I have an army that I hope can deal with a mass of dogs, and it's rare for a vanguard to rebuild their dog army after they lose it. It's more of an early game army. I could imagine at some point later in the meta that you might continue to mix dogs in for some kind of harass, run-bys, things like that. But at this point, Exos and Bio seem to be the way that GreenZerg is going. That's a big, scary ball of Exos, actually. Adding more. And I've got an okay army to deal with it, but I'll be honest, these, in terms of size, it looks good, but in terms of composition, it's not the greatest. The Hellborns are good, and yeah, get out of there, buddy. Oh, yeah. I think I misclicked and I just killed my own effigy. Um, but yeah, the Hellborn are pretty good for dealing with Bio, but the Magmadons, you'd think they're pretty good. Only if they've got the speed upgrade do they become good. Otherwise, they're basically just kite bait for the Exos. The Brutes, they're really just in the army to take hits anyways, so they're not exactly big damage dealers unless you split them all down into their fiends. And so really against this Exo army, you're going to want some, maybe more Hellborn, maybe some Gaunts in there to do some range damage, maybe more Hexen. Um, so not the best comp, even though it's looking kind of big, and it only looks big because it's fat, and these guys are a little bit skinnier. If we look at the actual supply, uh, we see that GreenZerg's ahead by about 30 supply in these Exos. Now we're adding some medtechs to the mix, and of course those just make those Exos last a little bit longer. And sure enough, more of them coming down. I think, GreenZerg's in a good position. He's now built his fourth base with, it looks like, 3 bases fully saturated. So definitely ahead of me, or yeah, a little ahead of me in terms of the econ, and certainly my base came up later. But so far he's just content to kind of sit and, okay, melted some of my units, trying to get another, like I said, sort of kite bait. They just love to pick off those Magmadons. Okay, circling around here, maybe to the other side. Now, this is my more well-fortified side. I have the Wraithstone up here. Maybe they're just trying to steal this camp from me. Yes, so it looks like GreenZerg's just going to take this camp, adding some swordsmen, lancers as they're supposedly, allegedly called. But those look like big old bad sword boys to me, so they're going to walk around outside while they watch these Exos clean up those slimes. And now we've got just a big old biomass. And again, what am I adding here? It looks like I have added some more Hexen. A couple more Hellborn, which is good. Both of those can help with this mass, assuming I got Miasma up. I've definitely got some Venom traps here. That might help. And again, this biomass is just getting bigger and bigger as it's moving around the map. I think GreenZerg's just content to keep that map control here. And I've got my units camped in a defensive posture here, sitting right on top of my Therium miners. And it looks like, yeah, the Exos are just creeping some more, taking some more resource gain up here. And yeah, no move out from me. More defensive structures. Here we have a Scout Exo. Poor sacrifice Scout Exo. He did take out that Venom trap. And okay. This is not great. Most of my units are clumped up here, not doing anything. So sacrifice a couple Brutes and Magmadons into the Exo Ball. and just healing up from the exos. We're gonna have to have some kind of confrontation here if we're gonna want to end this. Either that or I'm gonna mine out. I'm gonna have to move out, or I'm gonna have to maybe try and take this base down here. And sure enough, we've got GreenZerg already taking his 5th base. This looks like it's going to be a pretty good eco advantage for GreenZerg now, who's again taking the towers, which only gives more advantage. Well, he's left this tower for me to take back. I've now got my speed tower, my health tower, and this exo ball looks like his creeps have refreshed, and why not get some fresh income? Again, really outpacing me income. Banking 1700. I've got a bank too. It's not too rare for me to have a bank at this point. It's a little bit harder to spend my Ethereum unless I'm just going straight brute. I'm sorry, my Luminite. Because most of the units in this composition, the Hellborns, the Megs, the Gaunts, here we go. Here's a potential. And oh no, I didn't see this, but back home we have some helicarriers, and this composition I've been cooking up all game is great against the bio, but not against the helicarriers, because out of this composition you might notice Magmadons don't jump, Hellborns do not shoot up. They should shoot up. I think someone should talk to Frost Giant about that. I do have a couple Shadow Flyers there, but 4 Shadow Flyers are not going to do anything against this. And wow, okay, pretty good. And I've decided, when I saw those helis, I said, run across the base and try to do a little bit of trade, because my army cannot fight that army, and this way I can keep him off of my base, hopefully. And sure enough, he is running back, but he left his sword boys there. I don't like that. This was supposed to chase him back, and oh no. Let's see. Okay. Those Hellborn are the only ones that are going to be able to do anything. And we got some defensive miasmas. Although he just takes them out. Oh no. The helicarriers have joined the fray. And that biomass was way too much for my spread out army. These Hellborns, they made their play. And that play was to die. Oh, okay. I think we've seen the fateful end. Although, back home, every good Infernal's got a little bit of a bank and a little bit of charges. Although I still have $2,000. I think I could be spending it better on maybe some more. Here we go. Ooh. The Shadow Flyers. Oh, I finally grabbed them. Looking for something good. Oh, even with all those hits. Oh no. They must be low. That one died. Okay. And they are sitting in the Wraithstone. You should target the Wraithstone first. Although, even though that, wow, I actually took out all those helicarriers. I mean, they kind of moved into my static D, which helped a lot. I don't know if these 4 brutes are going to be able to handle this biomass. They took out that Wraithstone too. That did a lot of work. Yeah, the supply is 120 to 29. I think this is over. More helicarriers? Nope. That's it from us. Well, thanks a lot for watching me take a loss to GreenZerg here. Stay tuned for some more Stormgate content.